Good afternoon, my people. Yes, we are back in the building. Good afternoon to all my peeps, my NDZ family. I hope everybody so far has had a blessed Tuesday. I know I just talked to you guys this morning, 8 a.m., and now it is. I'm back. I was supposed to be back here an hour ago, but I needed some time to let stuff charge up so I could be able to go live with no interruptions. So now we are back. Peace to everybody out there, all my good people out there moving around on this Tuesday, man. You know what I mean? I hope it's been going well for y'all, and even if it hasn't gone well for y'all, I keep you guys in my prayers. Hope that everything is all right. Oh, Tuesday once again. Shout outs to everybody out there, new subscribers, old subscribers, soon to be subscribers. Shout outs to all of y'all out there, man. Appreciate every single last one of y'all, and I'll continue to let y'all know whether my channel grows or not. I appreciate y'all. I'm more worried, concerned about me growing with the people that subscribing than me worried about how many subscribers I got. But it's all good though. Peace to all of y'all out there. Shout outs to all my fighters, my amateurs, my pros, the coaches, everybody out there that's doing something to keep the sport of boxing alive. Appreciate every single last one of y'all. Let's make sure everybody likes, shares, and subscribe. Today we're getting into Vergil Ortiz versus Erickson Lubin. Y'all know me when it comes to this. I'm very simple. I don't go through all that extra shit that you see people go through when they talking about the fights. I voice my opinion, rather if you can understand it or not, or if you want me to break it down a certain way, I'm going to do it the best way that I know how. So let's get into it. So for my newcomers, my regulars, everyone, welcome back to the No Duck Zone podcast. Let's go. So what we have for November 8th, which I thought it was going to be October, is Erickson the Hammer Lubin versus Vergil Ortiz for the WBC interim junior middleweight title, November 8th, on Dazn in Fort Worth, Texas, which means shit, man. No disrespect. When you're fighting in Texas and you're fighting a hometown person in Texas, Jesus Christ, it is difficult to go out there and get the judges to be on your side. We have seen it happen so many times. So Erickson Lubin not only has to probably deal with the crowd, but the judges, and to deal with Ortiz, which he's no slouch, no matter what we feel about him or who we felt like he should have fought. So this is already a big task for Erickson Lubin. A lot of y'all are concerned about styles and he might be tailor-made for Ortiz. I'm not worried about none of that. I'm not concerned with that because I'm not a coach. I'm not a trainer. So I leave that to you guys who either think you're experts or you've been in there before to teach it. So I'll leave that for y'all. But these are fights like this that we need to keep. We need to keep them coming. As you heard me speak about the other fights. And even though the boxing is what we should be concerned about, like I said, for you guys that don't know, sometimes that plays a role. Texas is very hard to get a decision in. We heard Paulie Maldonado talk about it. It happened with him when he fought David. What was it? Oh, Jesus? I forgot the dude that he probably fought when he was out there in Texas years ago. And the dude was in college, and I think he went on to be a lawyer. He went on to be something. Y'all don't know who I'm talking about. That was back in, I believe, 2009 when Paulie fought him out there. And he said, the state never gives you a fair shake, and da da da. And we seen it, but that's no disrespect to Texas. When you go out there, you're just going to basically have to you basically have to go out there and just put a guy on his ass. Can Erickson Lubin do that with Vergil Ortiz? Now, a lot of y'all are going to say, hell no, McClain. You know that just as well as we do, that Vergil can't do that. Well, I'm not in no position. I mean, excuse me, Erickson can't do that. I don't know. For years in boxing, we have seen fights where we didn't think a guy had a chance in a fight. Or we said, yeah, I'll give him the first 2-3 rounds, and after that, he's lunch meat. Nobody thought Muhammad Ali would beat George Foreman when he was the bully. And I'm not comparing. I'm just want y'all to understand, because some of y'all, you don't listen. Nobody thought Buster Douglas would beat Mike Tyson. We have had it in years in boxing where we just seen stuff go a little different. I became a big Erickson Lubin fan after the Sebastian Findor, which I don't know if that'll ever happen again, a rematch, probably not. But at 54 right now, it's pretty much open. 54 right now is pretty much open. It's an open door right now. It's not even locked. 54 doesn't even lock their door at night when they go to sleep. It's an open division. But whoever wants that smoke, all they got to do is walk out that door. Or you can walk in. Either way you look at it. So I'm glad to see Erickson Lubin in this position. I'm glad to see Vergil Ortiz back. Because I know, hey, man, I don't want to see this fight. And it's crazy because, we have Boots coming and we have Vergil, and, man, Vergil and Boots should be fighting for November 8th. Oh, YSM, what's up, my good brother? Stay right there for 1 second. Let me wrench you up. I don't know why it's blocking this. Hold on. Yeah, it is a good fight. It's a great fight. And you guys, he should be fighting him. No, we're not in no position to say who should be fighting who. I have no beef with this. Yes, we all want Vergil and Boots to get it on. We all want that. But we have to just be a little patient. I feel like come 2026, a lot of stuff that we have been asking for, we're going to get majority of it. But you have to remember, from January to December, you guys have to be patient. Because a lot of times you guys get spoiled and get caught up in shit, and y'all start jumping on these channels, running your mouth and not knowing what the hell you're talking about. And when somebody like YSM tries to explain, my brother Garrick Hackett, a couple of knowledgeable brothers who try to explain to y'all, you still don't get it. You may not be happy with Boots' next opponent. You might not be happy with Erickson Lubin, and you might not be happy with Vergil, but it is what it is, and this is a great fight. And anybody who's down in this fight for November 8th, you're out of your rabbit-ass mind. This is a great fight. Or any of the fights that's coming up. Fedora, Thurman, you're down in it. You out of your rabbit-ass mind. Now, what I can't do is break down how this fight goes. I can't do it. There's some people who's good in that department. I happen to not be one of them. But I can tell you like this. You could expect it. You could expect this for both of them to be able to throw down in there. Now, for some strange reason, you know, does Lubin get the credit he does if he goes in there and he not so much beats Vergil, but if he puts on a better fight than what some of y'all assume, because a lot of y'all are, like I said, you're never satisfied with the opponent. Well, he's supposed to beat Lubin. Who the hell is Lubin? Right? Come on now. Don't leave me out there in the cold. Somebody respond to me now. He is supposed to beat Lubin. Well, let me explain something to y'all just in case somebody never told you this. None of us are in the position to say who is supposed to beat who. Because once again, this is boxing. Anything is bound to happen. Come on, McClain. You can't think that Erickson Lubin actually got a chance. Any fighter has a chance. And when I mean any fighter, I mean any fighter has a chance. Rather if they win or not. It's about going out there and putting on your best performance that you could put on to silence the critics. Because people are never, ever will be satisfied. Never be. But I'm gonna enjoy this for November 8th. And you start looking at these belts and these titles, and you start thinking about the Crawford and Canelo situation, how that's gonna play out. Just read something about Jamel Charlo possibly making his return against, I forgot who this guy is. I know a lot of y'all gonna complain about that. This guy that Jamel's taking on, who the hell is this guy? Nobody knows him. Nobody knows him. Okay, neither do you. And that's the thing that kills me about y'all. Granted, we all want to see fighters fight fighters that we're familiar with. We're familiar with two fighters, and we don't want to have to try to figure out who's the other guy across the ring. I understand that. Believe me, I get that. But I always tell you that guy that's standing across the ring, just because you're not familiar with him, that doesn't mean he's not a threat. This is boxing. Everybody's a threat. Erickson Lubin could be just the biggest threat to Vergil Ortiz as Vergil is to him. But because we get caught up in this favoritism and we get caught up in liking fighters because they're the same race as us, we don't look at that. We just look at it. He's the same race as me. I'm going to go for him. I don't care what you say. And then this is what we got to deal with, the being called racist names. And I mean, y'all know how they go. I don't really get caught up in any of that because it is what it is. Racism has been around just as long as boxing, if not longer. So I don't too much get caught up in that. You guys say you want to see the best fights. You're full of shit. You don't want to see the best fights. Y'all always screaming about we want to see the best fights. No, you don't. You don't want to see it. Tell me who has a problem with Vergil Ortiz versus Erickson Lubin. Who has a problem with it? Oh, speak now, please. Does anybody can answer it. Do we have a problem with Vergil Ortiz versus Erickson Lubin? What problem do we have? Come on, man. McClain, he's going to beat him. Man, Vergil's going to beat him. That's easy for Vergil. Oh, yeah? Well, when did you become a trainer? When did you become a coach to predict what a guy can and can't do in the ring? I'm just asking. Come on, y'all don't have to keep coming in here leaving. That's what y'all do. Y'all don't want to hear the truth. Y'all, come on now. Stay along. Stay a little longer. Or do y'all want me to end the live and probably talk about Tank or something? Something that might be a little more interesting to y'all. Something that might just get y'all moist meat up. Because this ain't the channel for it. Sorry. So, and it's crazy because sometimes I feel like these fights be a slap in the face because y'all don't talk about them. These fights, y'all don't talk about them because you're too busy out here talking about one guy who's about to have a WrestleMania match with another guy. This Erickson, Lubin, and Ortiz, I'm super hype about it. And I like both of those guys. No, who you going for? I'm not going for nobody. Told y'all, I made a decision in my life where I'm not picking anymore. However a fight goes is how it goes. Because some of you get so emotional where you come up on the channel and you're crashing out. So nobody can no longer ask me who I'm picking for in the fight. Sorry. I know it sounds a little harsh, but because of the behavior on how you guys act, you want to act like a bunch of preschool kids, and that's how I'm going to treat y'all. So rather if a man's white, black, no matter what his nationality is, if you ask me, McLean, who you picking, I'm not picking neither one. I'm sitting back respectfully, and I'm just going to enjoy it. And like I said, this fight can go either way. It can go either way. All these fights that we have coming up for the rest of this year, that schedule can go either way. So my question is to y'all is, what's the problem? I don't see nothing wrong with this or any of the other fights coming up, except for that WrestleMania match that y'all constantly keep just dragging through here like it's something to talk about. So when I get disappointed at fighters, or when I feel some kind of way about when I hear some of the decisions that they make, and how I deal with it is not by talking about it, because it means nothing to me. Because we're actually talking about a real fight. Vergil Ortiz, Erickson, Lubin. We're actually talking about a real fight and not a WrestleMania match. Honestly, man, you guys can sit up here and break down the fight and go, this is what happened, Vergil style, Erickson, Lubin style, and this style. All that is cool. I'm sitting back on November 8th and just saying, may the best man win. I'm just there with a little bit of alcohol, maybe some popcorn and some snacks, and I'm going to sit back and I'm going to enjoy it, because we're going to have to bring some peace back, if there ever was, to these YouTube streets when it's time to have conversation about boxing. Oh, sit back and put on your seatbelt. I'm about to school some of y'all, because some of you need a lesson on how to conduct themselves as not just content creators, but as men. Because I think it's a slap in the face when we don't talk about fights like this or the ones coming up, but we sit back to talk about some other shit that don't make any sense, because we know that's what brings views. How many of y'all have a beef with the Vergil Ortiz and Erickson Lubin? Of course you got beef with it. Same way you got beef with Booth's fight. You got beef with his fight. They should be fighting each other. Okay, well, I'm sure next year we're going to get it. It took Crawford and Spence a while, didn't it? Took Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao a while, even though we didn't want to see it. Sometimes things don't happen when we want it to happen. And believe me, I get y'all. We get upset about it. because we're like, damn, if this would have happened 3 years earlier, maybe who knows if we would have got this result. Hold on, y'all. Put on your seatbelts. Crawford versus Ortiz is going to come up. When? We don't know. They both got a date in October. Well, not in October. One has a date in October, the other one has a date in November. I finally started my channel, homie. Number one stream strong. I'm talking about the real fights, please. Oh, yeah. I got you right now, Rich. Hold on. What's up, my brother? So, like you see my, hold on, let me put this up too. Y'all see what my brother said? Only the real fights. Only the real fights. Y'all are out here just talking about anything and everything, calling it content, and praying to God that by the time your video finish, you got all the subscribers in the world because you just done went and you just said whatever and anything. Hold on, let me get you right now, my guy. I'm sub to you now, man. Just sub to you. Because that's what we do. We support each other. You know, like I said, we always throwing that word around. A lot of y'all don't do it. You come to my channel, I'm going to come to yours. I'll tell you, when you come in here, drop your link. How much of us really love boxing? Or do we just love arguing? Do we love arguing about it? Because maybe we got some girlfriends and wives we can't argue with at home. So we argue on social media. What is the problem with y'all? Why is it so difficult to get on here and talk real boxing with real people? Because sometimes the topic is not the problem. The people are. Okay, let me say that again because that probably went over some of y'all heads. Sometimes it's not the topic that's the problem. It's the people. Because soon as Erickson Lubin goes, soon as Vergil Ortiz wins and he goes and he does what he does, and Boots go do what he do, but Boots may not look as impressive as Vergil did. The first thing I'm gonna say is, man, Boots ain't ready for Vergil. That's what y'all gonna do. Because that's what you crybabies do. Find a reason to whine. Y'all already ain't giving the man no credit as it is. So what's the difference? And all this stuff with him and Canelo, I don't give a shit about. I ain't got nothing to do with none of that. I don't give a shit about none of that. Because maybe I'm blind, maybe I'm looking over something, but what are we supposed to be bothered by? Because maybe I want y'all to help me out. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe it's something that I'm not paying attention to, that I'm walking by, that I don't understand why everybody has to find reasons to be upset about something when it comes to boxing. We're all going to sit and watch these fights that's coming up, right? And we all are sitting on these panels and we're talking about it. At some point, it should never be any hate. Exactly, CJ. In the words of Kenny Porter, y'all better learn to start keeping it boxing. Because I'm going to tell you as a man that don't really give a shit about a lot of stuff that y'all be crying and whining about, y'all better get y'all act together as content creators. Get your fucking act together as content creators. Because y'all are out here looking bad. Y'all out here looking like a bunch of baby mamas who are starving for a child support check. Y'all looking bad. Y'all can't possibly tell me with all the great fights that's coming up later this year, and we haven't even heard all of them. But for the ones that's being made, that bothers y'all? Are you telling me we can't come on a panel together, rather if it's 8 men or 10 men or 6 men or whatever, and we can't talk boxing, but we have to argue it? We have to let it get out of hand where we're gang banging on each other? We have people in our chats who you thought they were cool with you, but then they turn on you that quick because the other person from the other channel might be just a little popular than you. This is what we got. This is what we're coming to. I mean, the disrespect has been happening, but now it's getting out of hand. Who cares what's the truth anymore or what's the lie, right? Where's the respect? Where's the respect? We agree or we disagree. Cool. Where's the respect when people are voicing their opinion about something? Because I don't get it. I don't see it no more. Maybe I'm blind. Maybe I'm walking past it. Maybe I'm asleep. Maybe I ain't got the fucking memo because I'm not monetized. Maybe it's because I don't have 91.k people subscribing. I don't know. It's something that I'm walking by that I'm obviously not catching on because I don't get it. It's nasty. It's disgusting. It's disgraceful. And it stinks. It smells like this whole boxing shit. Sometimes when you talk about it with the individuals, it smells like a bunch of piss in the damn elevator. It stinks. Y'all got the wrong idea about being a content creator when it comes to this boxing. Y'all got the wrong idea. I don't care what you say. You got the wrong idea, baby. Well, McLean, why does nothing ever bother you? It's a lot that bother me, but this certain shit I ain't got no control over. What am I to do? I'm not a manager. I'm not a promoter. I'm not an agent. I'm not part of the sanctions. I'm not part of no commission. What do you want me to do? Get on live 4 to 6 hours and talk myself to death about it and argue with other damn people? Because whenever I voice my opinion, somebody's not going to agree. And then here it is. It's a whole damn retarded, stupid debate over something that we shouldn't even be debating and arguing about. Because when you say let's debate, you're really saying let's argue. In case y'all don't know that. Because that's what it's going to lead to, an argument. And I don't have time to argue with none of y'all because you don't do anything for me. I love the sport of boxing, but I have no position, or I'm not in no circles where I have to stand here and argue and defend fighters and defend coaches because you feel some kind of way about them for whatever reason. I am a content creator that's going to continue to talk about boxing the way I feel like it's necessary to talk about it. So if some fights to me are phony and fake, it's nothing to talk about. And for some people, that's their entertainment. That's cool. For me, it's a no-go. Because y'all care about views. I care about the truth. So when we go back to the Vergil fighting, and you can't bring up Vergil name without bringing Boots. You can't bring Boots up without bringing Vergil. I guarantee y'all right now, and I can make a bet on it. I can make $100 bet right now that if Vergil Ortiz just happened to go out to look more impressive, if he looks better than what Boots can look like in his fight, y'all going to have something to say. Even if Boots wins, Oh, Vergil, man, Vergil stopped Lubin. Yeah, and Boots won his fight. He stopped him, but he should have got him out of there 5 rounds ago. He didn't look as good. He don't look that good at 54. Vergil looked great. That's what y'all gonna do. That is what y'all are gonna do because that's what y'all are notorious. You are notorious for doing that. And you think I gotta sit up here and argue with y'all, destroying friendships or people that you thought you were friends with? Now the relationship comes to an end over boxing? What world are we living in, people? And some of y'all that has nothing to do with it participate in the bullshit. What world are we living in? It makes me sometimes say, you know what? Stay away from all you. Stay away from all of y'all because y'all contagious. Something is seriously wrong with a lot of you. There's nothing wrong with the sport of boxing. It's something wrong with y'all. We out here gang banging on boxing. Bet you your man can't throw a better jab than my man. Bet you that. Bet it. Bet you your fighter can't jump rope better than my fighter. Bet it. Like, what are we talking about? Bet you my fighter he could run an extra mile more than your fighter. Bet it. What is y'all talking about, goofies? And I'm a big supporter, so when I go to some of these places and I hear some of y'all conversations, I try to be there to support, but it makes me sick to my stomach when I'm ready to throw up. Not because I can't relate to what you're saying, because I don't be understanding that y'all go from trying to make a point to your point not making a point to losing an argument and then insulting somebody because they corrected you on what you said. Now you tell me, how does all that make sense? Okay, so you don't want to watch Erickson Lubin versus Vergil Ortiz? That's your business. That's your business. Who cares? I'm gonna watch it. I damn sure won't be watching no WrestleMania matches, and I'm not gonna keep constantly watching the guy who's not giving us not so much what we want, but giving us something that we could talk about. See, in boxing, you're not gonna always give somebody. We all are not gonna get what we want, but we need something to talk about. It might not always be that opponent, but it might be the next opponent where he could give us something to talk about. Y'all man that y'all want to keep running around, the dude that y'all want to keep talking about every damn day from Monday to Friday ain't giving y'all nothing to talk about for real. But you're going to talk about him. And y'all can have that. Because where I come from, when somebody ain't worth talking about, we don't mention them. Not because we scared of them. It's because they not worth talking about. Forget the views. We don't give a shit about that over here. You ain't worth talking about. You don't get mentioned over here. You got to earn your stripes to be over here, to be talked about. So what are we doing? Well, McClain, I want to see Vergil Ortiz in boots next year. Well, I pray we see that next summer. I pray we see it. I pray if we can get Vergil versus him, maybe it could be in Philly. Maybe it'll have to be in Texas. Hell, maybe they can go to Vegas. I don't know. Where they have it at really doesn't make a difference. Hell, I wish they could come to New York and do it. Boots versus Vergil in Madison Square Garden. The big garden, not the theater, but the big garden would be great if we can get that next summer in 2026. That would be super. And if we don't get it, what can we do? Well, McClain, you that don't bother you? If you don't have control of something, it shouldn't bother you because you have no control over it. Be upset about shit that you should have control over and you don't have no control of it. That's the shit that you should be mad about. Some of y'all don't got controls of your lives or your household or your channels. And you worrying about having control over boxing? Y'all can't control your households. Y'all can't control the relationships you're in. You can't control yourselves. That's something that y'all should be getting upset about. Controlling people in your chats. Because sometimes they're just all over the place. I repeat that I can never have control, tried to get control of something that it wasn't meant for me to have control of in the first place. Of course, I want these guys to fight each other. Of course, why not? But you make yourself more upset by going on live and screaming and barking about it as if that's going to make them get out there and fight who you want them to fight. No. See, a lot of these dudes, I boycott them on the low. You know how I do it? But not even talking about them. You ain't even worth talking about. Because even if I go up here and I'm talking down about you, I'm still talking about you. It's the same thing as paying for them. You're going to pay to see them win. You're going to pay to see them lose, but you're going to pay for them. So which means you're going to talk about them good and talk about them bad, but you're going to talk about them knowing that the views are going to be up there. I don't give a shit about none of that. I don't give a shit about none of that. If you don't do what you're supposed to do and you start the clown shit, you don't get no play over here. I know my channel's small, and I don't need nobody to remind me. I know how many subscribers I got. I don't need nobody to remind me. I'm fine with that. But I'm damn sure not about to talk about guys that's not doing what they're supposed to just to say, you know what, this will be the only way, McClain, that you'll get your subscribers up if you mention these dudes. Hell to the no. I mention them when they got something going on. I'll mention them if they were maybe in an accident or something and something happened and I go, hey man, let's keep our prayers for that brother. This happened to him. But if they ain't out there doing what they supposed to do, man, I'm not about to do it. I'm not about to do it. So you can ask me a million times how something don't bother me. I can't let it bother me because I got no control over it, and neither do you. What's up, Seafood? I ain't got no control over how these fights are made or who makes them. Y'all want to get mad at somebody? Shit, get mad at the people that's in boxing. The fighter picks who he picks. What do you want me to do? This is why my lane is amateur boxing, because I don't have to worry about that type of bullshit. Because sometimes talking this professional boxing, it aggravates me. And it's not the sport that so much aggravates me. It's you people that aggravate me. This is why I stick to amateur boxing. Because I'm dealing with the up and coming. And I'd rather deal with them than to sit here and D-ride that y'all keep D-riding these fighters that I don't care if they millionaires or not. You keep D-riding them and they don't care nothing about how y'all feel. Y'all still has not realized that. A lot of these fighters are making farewell decisions, which means some of them are already out their door and they're just trying to get the biggest bag they can. And some are probably a year or two away from saying that's it. Just because they look like they got 5 years left in them, that doesn't mean 5 years they're going to be here. As long as guys like Turkey Al Sheikh's around, if they could go get a big bag with him, they're gonna do it respectfully. So once again, who has an issue with Vergil Ortiz versus Erickson Lubin? Rather, if you think Vergil's gonna knock him out, whatever the outcome is, who has an issue with it? Who has an issue with Sebastian Fundora and Thurman? Boots fight. I know you got an issue with that. See, at least y'all are more familiar with Vergil Ortiz opponent than you might be with Boots opponent. There might be a small portion of y'all that might be familiar with Boots' opponent, but then say, nah, man, that ain't who he should be fighting. Boots should beat this guy. Once again, and I love Boots. But once again, we're not in no position to say who can beat who. Y'all, this is why I be like, some of y'all that be lying to me, I've been watching boxing for years. You're full of it. No, you haven't. Because if you have, you'll know in history, a lot of guys we thought that was supposed to beat somebody have spoiled plans, future plans for two fighters that were supposed to have fought each other. It's been happening for years, for centuries. So I'm not always quick to say he should beat him. If you don't beat him, he's a bum. Maybe 54 ain't for him. Maybe he should go back to 47. I'm just not that dude. And I never will be. Because these guys work hard, and you have somebody out there that's just as hungry as Boots, that just wanted just as much as he do. There's a guy out there that's just as hungry as Vergil. There's a guy out there just as hungry as Fundora. What the fuck are y'all talking about? There's a guy out there just as hungry as Tank, or even more, or Devin, or Shakur, or any of them. Don't think because you're a fan of a fighter that your guy is the hungriest guy walking around. There's guys out there that's just as hungry that we don't know nothing about, that's shelved right now, fighting for some promotional company somewhere in Florida or deep in Texas or wherever else at there. We ain't never heard of them. Everybody in boxing, just because they in boxing, don't get the same opportunity. Everybody don't get the same opportunity. This is what y'all get twisted. Y'all think because these guys are fighters and you see them on TV, and just think that everybody get the same opportunity. Be a fan of boxing, not a fan of the fighter. That's a fact, Angel. Y'all got to stop thinking because y'all see these guys on TV, all these guys get the same opportunity. No, they not. Some of these guys couldn't get a fight if their life depended on it. And then some of them are real good. Might be bad marketing, managers, whatever the case may be. They can't get the way they want to be. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. He got destroyed, but this is what I'm saying. You know how many people was probably going for him? Angel, you know how many guys were probably going for him? This is what I'm saying. Anything can happen in boxing. So we're not in no position to say that, hey, man, Vergil should go out there and kill Erickson Lubin. And I don't mean literally kill him. But hey, Erickson Lubin looks too good in that fight. What y'all gonna say? Hey, well, Ortiz might not be ready for Boots. Boots don't go out there and he don't look good in his fight. I don't know. Ortiz looked better in his fight. I don't know. I think Boots should either take 2 more fights before he think about stepping to him. This is y'all. This is y'all, you so-called fans. Y'all not fans. You're not fans, you're not casuals. I don't know where to call y'all. I don't know what to call y'all. Yeah, everybody thought he was gonna win. I didn't know. I was just watching the fight as a fan because I don't pick who I want to win anymore. I sit back and I enjoy it. That way I don't have to get caught up in these stupid ass debates that you see going on here. Because once I pick somebody, and either I gotta explain why they gonna win, or I gotta explain why they lost, or I gotta explain to them why I like them. I ain't gotta explain nothing to none of y'all. The fuck I look like? I'm not explaining nothing to none of y'all, because y'all don't do nothing for me. If you gonna be a fan of boxing, go ahead and be a fan. Don't be a fan when things are going your way, and as soon as something happens, you got an issue. String them from above. What up? Salute. You gonna be a fan of boxing? Be a fan of boxing, my G. Go ahead, be a fan. Go be a fan. But some of y'all be doing too much, bro. Just enjoy boxing and shut the fuck up. And when something doesn't excite you, this is when you got to say, you know what? I'm not paying for this. I'm not talking about this. I'm not interested. Don't ever let people bait you into a conversation or bait you into a fighter that you don't like. For whatever reason, you don't like them. Don't let nobody bait you into that. And that's what a lot of these channels do. You got to be careful. You will get baited into some shit and it'll be your fault. Stand 10 toes down on what you believe in. Don't be like everybody else jumping on the bandwagon. Well, who you going for? Erickson? Well, I'm only going for Vergil because everybody else is going for him. No. If you think Erickson Lubin got a chance, no matter how many people are telling you he don't, go for him. Y'all stop going for fighters because y'all the same nationality as them. Cut that shit out. I'm a black man. You think every fighter I like is black? I like Dominican fighters. I like Cuban. My two favorite nationality fighters are Puerto Ricans and Mexicans. Are you kidding me? Y'all walk in here, you walk in here, I like him because he's this, I like him because he's that, I like him. Stop. Some of y'all don't even like your girlfriends and your wives like that. Y'all put more into this boxing and into these dudes than you do your own wives at home. What are we talking about? You dudes are seriously disturbed. Boxing has not broke up friendships. You guys have broke it up. Boxing just happened to be a topic. And if we can't sit up here like grown people and try to agree to a disagree, but then keep it respectful, where we have to disrespect each other, now the whole world knows that we have a problem because we all decided to disrespect each other in public, study talking in private. Hey man, I don't want none of y'all. Stay away from me. I'm fine. Me and my little channel that's not monetized, we'll be okay. We don't need your company. We good. I got a beautiful wife who's my partner, who supports me, and I got real people that subscribe to me, that support me. And I love it. I love all 642 of y'all. I love every single last one of y'all. Keep, in the words of Kenny Porter, keep it boxing. Keeping it boxing does not mean we can disrespect each other, or we can get super emotional over a fighter we don't know nothing about. Keep it boxing. I don't understand why it's so hard, fellas, to understand that. Keep it boxing. Because in real life, ain't none of y'all gonna do anything when you see each other. So why not just keep it boxing? I told y'all this for the last 2 years. Is it worth going to jail? Standing in front of a judge, telling the judge, Your Honor, you wouldn't understand. It's YouTube beef. I ain't got nothing against him, Your Honor, but this is what we doing nowadays. We gang banging on YouTube. How many of y'all gonna really put your freedom up on the line if you see somebody else you got an issue with? How many of you? How many of you are going to say to yourself, it's not worth me going back home tonight. It ain't worth me going back there. I got to handle this and handle it right now. Let me ask yourself that. Well, McLean, what does this have to do with you talking about the fight? It has everything to do with it. Not just this fight. It's the whole point of boxing, period. Because y'all going to let this sport be the death for y'all. I don't care about people leaving out. I can care less. The truth hurts. That's cool. Just smash the like button on your way out. I can care less. How many of y'all are really going to say it ain't worth me going home to my wife and kid because I got to hurt this other YouTuber that I thought me and him was whatever? It is disgusting. It is nasty. It makes me want to vomit when I see the behavior of you dudes. It is sickening. You think I give a shit about losing a debate, let alone being in one and arguing about a fighter and then sitting there threatening you and when I see you and da 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 da? You think I'm gonna leave my beautiful wife at home to go to prison for the rest of my life? For what? For you clowns that ain't worth it? If I ever have to go, it's gonna be because somebody did something to her. I'm not going for you dudes that ain't going through. You can't punch through a wet paper bag. The fuck is wrong with y'all? What is seriously wrong with y'all? And then got nerve to want fighters and coaches to come to y'all channels and all these kind of peoples, and y'all sitting here acting a donkey. Want somebody to come to sponsor y'all channels or give you an endorsement, and here it is, y'all sitting up here acting like a bunch of project babies. This person got to pick this side. Hey, if I catch you over here, this was going to happen. People got to pick. Now, when you get a notification for somebody going live, you're a little timid about going over there because you already got the heads up, but don't take your ass over there. Now you got people who feel like they owe some loyalty to the channel, catch you somewhere, screenshot it, send it back to them. Some way, somehow, we lost track of what we really came here for, to do. And that's to be content creators, to create content. D Free, what up? Some of y'all have lost that, or forgetting why we came to YouTube in the first place. Had you would have gave me a memo that said that if you join YouTube, McLean, this is what's going to happen, my channel wouldn't exist. Because I would have read that long list of bullshit and said, oh, this is what comes with it? Hell no, I want no parts of it. But hey, it didn't happen that way. And I'm here, and I've been here, and I ain't going nowhere. But some of y'all got to pull it together. Some of y'all got to pull it together because the jig is up, baby. Y'all been shaking and faking out here for too long. Eventually, all this debating that y'all doing, eventually that's going to go out the window. Because there's too many feelings getting involved. We are losing sight of why we got on social media in the first place. What are we here for? What purpose do you serve? How many times are we going to keep allowing ourselves to be on channels where rather we involved or not, be a part of the shit? I told you, if you hang around clowns long enough, you'll become a part of the circus. How many times have we got to keep hearing, be careful about going over there? Be careful about subscribing to that channel. How many times are we going to keep doing that before we just get so upset where either two things happen? We either leave YouTube or we just unsubscribe to everybody. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll go to the second one and unsubscribe because I'm not leaving YouTube. And if I do, I'm going to leave for my own personal reasons. I'm not going to do any of y'all a favor. I'm not going to do any of y'all a favor. Because some of y'all want to wish me away any fucking way. So I only would be doing you a favor if I exit out. Whew, we ain't got to hit him no more. Erickson, Lubin, Vergil Ortiz. Every other fight that's coming up. What's the problem? That's all I want to know is what's the problem? Most importantly, what is the problem with us? What is the problem with us? Because I'm seeing the behavior of a bunch of dudes who can't control their emotions. That's what I'm seeing. And you other people are participating in it. I got you, Free. You are participating in it. Y'all gotta wake up, man. I don't understand y'all, man. I don't understand y'all. And nobody thinks that nothing is wrong with it. That's the shit that bothers me, that trips me out, that none of y'all don't think it's wrong with it. And then y'all sit there and say, yeah, well, you know what, McLean? Everybody has a way of doing things. But you're going about it the wrong way. Just because you have a way of doing things, that don't mean you're doing it the right way. Doesn't mean you're doing it the right way. Let me tell you something. I worked in restaurants and I've done dishes. I was a porter and a dishwasher, and everybody had a way of doing the dishes. But just because you had a way of doing them, that doesn't mean you were doing them the right way. Y'all are not doing what y'all supposed to do the right way. So I ask you again, we're just gonna sit here and ignore the fact that we have a lot of great fights coming up. D Free, what's up? But I guarantee you, D Free, I guarantee you, you know just as well as I do. If there's any chance Boots does not look as good as Vergil might look, I guarantee you they'll say Boots ain't ready for Vergil. You know what's gonna happen, D Free. You done seen this movie before.
Yeah. Yeah.
If Vergil does not look that good, what do they say? Well, yeah, Vergil ain't ready for Boots. Nope, nope, nope. That's why he needed the 48 months. He ain't ready.
Those are the same people that always lose money when they bet on fights. Because they bet on based off of what they see that them guys did with somebody else. That ain't that guy.
Oh, Jesus
You got
Christ.
you
And
gotta
we,
you gotta
we,
look
we,
at the
we
attributes of the
yeah,
fighters and base it off of who you believe has the better attribute and who you believe will control the fight. That's how you base who wins that fight. Who you believe has the better attribute and who you believe will control the base of that fight. If
yeah,
you believe that Deron Bucenis has the better attribute and he can control the pace of the fight, then you believe that Deron Bucenis 9 times out of 10 will win that fight. If you believe that Vergil Ortiz has the better attributes and he can control the pace of the fight, then you believe that 9 times out of 10 Vergil will win that fight. But that's how I always pick who I believe is going to win a fight. I look at the attributes and I look at who I believe is going to control the pace. I mean, every once in a while that can fall short. That's why you said 9 times out of 10, because it always that one time where the equalizer will show up and somebody end up getting knocked down or get knocked out. But for the most part, you usually bet on what you believe is going to happen. And if you looking at things the correct way, 9 times out of 10, you're probably right. And like I said, every once in a while you'll fall short because some things play out the way you didn't expect it to play out.
Yeah, yeah. And I was what's good. Oh yeah. So I was saying, like, some of y'all just gotta relax, man. Yo, man, we already know what's going to happen to Erickson Lubin. Listen, it's not the point. You don't know what's going to happen. Now you can voice your opinion, but when you jump out there, and that's not just in this fight, that's in any fight. When I'm telling you what's going to happen, but you can't tell me shit. Y'all are not trainers. Y'all are not coaches. You're not managers. You're not agents. Like, you're just talking.
The main thing that they're not, the one and most important thing that they're not that person. So you don't know how he's feeling going into that ring. You don't know what's
Oh,
going through his mind when he walked through those ropes. That's
oh
the
my
that's the
God.
most important thing that they're not. You can say whatever you want to say. The way you feel he should be fighting doesn't mean that's the way he feels he should be fighting.
Yeah, yeah. I got you, Angel. Yeah, definitely. That's dope. That's dope. I got to get to Florida where you at too, Angel. I think you in Florida. Whatever. I got to get out there, man. Some way, somehow. Yeah. So I'm like, and I'm kind of talking to you. I'm kind of talking about what's been happening. What I told you I saw the other day. But I'm like, it's running rampant. It's running rampant, and it's making us look more foolish in these YouTube streets, even though it's not me and you or people that's other people around us is doing it. But when you look at it, it's like the stupidity is running rampant.
It
Because like I
always
said,
happens.
we're not keeping it boxing, because then it goes from that to we gang banging on boxing. Like what the fuck are we doing?
I told you it always happens when you have guys who favorite fighters are facing each other because these guys are so focused on being the fighter's fan instead of just having a outlook on what the fight might happen. Yeah, you can believe that this fighter is going to win. I mean, a lot of people get caught up in the whole build up than the actual fight. They get caught up in what this person said to a reporter or what that person said to a reporter, what this dude did in a training camp, what that guy did in training camp. They get so focused on the build up that they're not looking at what actually can possibly happen in a fight. They caught up on all of the pre-fight activity instead of the actual fight activity.
Yeah, which it makes me sick because for some of us, we actually know some of these people in real life, but then some people take advantage of that. I think people go too far because they know people, certain people, and they use that to you can't tell me nothing because I know these dudes. Well, you're related to the Russells. You're not sitting out here jumping out the fucking window every time a conversation comes up with them. You let people think whatever it is that they're gonna think, and it's like, okay, that's your opinion. But just because you said it, that don't make you right. But I don't see you jumping out the window. Dudes be out here ready to gang bang on this boxing shit. They crazy.
No, I mean, however anybody believes or feels about the Russells is their opinion. They can feel however they feel. The only thing that I'ma say something is when I hear somebody say something incorrect about the Russells. If you say
Yeah,
something incorrect about him, then I'm gonna correct you on that. But other than that, you can feel however you want to feel. You feel like Mr. Gary Russell is too inactive. You feel like Antoine is too inactive. That's your opinion. I might agree with you at times. I might disagree, but that's your opinion. I don't care. That's how you can feel. But I mean, as long as you ain't saying something that's false, you can feel however you want to feel.
yeah, yeah. And we can't control our emotions. That's the biggest thing on there. Everybody goes, well, What does that have to do with these fights? It has everything to do with it because it's the sport. It ain't about the fight. It's the sport. You dudes can't control your emotions. You can't control your emotions. And it's crazy. Because you know how they say something's supposed to bring the best out of you? It is bringing the worst out of you. It's bringing the worst out of y'all, and y'all exposing it more. Steady keeping it private. You're keeping it public. And the private part is, okay, D, if me and D Free, we done said something, he might feel like he got a problem. Okay, we got to call each other and figure out how could we get this. Versus me and you being live right now, and I'm just chewing you out and you chewing me out. And then here it is, we got people in the comment sections. You might have more people that rock with you than me. So now people like, yeah, D Free, man, fuck him. Fuck no Doug Jones. Now we got people. Now it's a war. Now it's a war because now we got people picking sides, or the people you thought that rock with you is going against you, and now you like, well, what's this all about?
Yeah, like I told you yesterday, I was on a panel with an individual, and he seemed like he was getting a little a little carried away with the situation, and I'm like, calm down. He's like, no, I am calm. I'm like, okay. So I just removed myself from the situation because me and him never had any bad issue between us. We never talked to each other crazy or whatever. But the way he was speaking, I know how I am, and I was like, you know what? It's best for me just go ahead and get up off the panel because I'm gonna say something, and then he's gonna say something, then we're gonna be going back and forth. So I just go ahead and remove myself from the panel because it's not even that serious.
A lot of, and you know what, and it's sad because a lot of people are not worthy of even having boxing conversations, let alone having the channel. Now, you should be able to voice your opinion, but nobody's voicing their opinion anymore. People are trying to come at you as if they have the facts,
Hmm.
and you don't have it. You don't have it, and it's just nasty out here, Free, and it pisses me off. And I was sitting thinking about this shit yesterday, and I said, man, if I didn't love this the way I do, Free, I would leave, man. If I didn't love this the way I do, I swear I would get the fuck out of here and be like, man, let me pack my bags and be like, get the fuck, I'm leaving YouTube because it's disgusting. But then I realized just because it's happening, you don't have to be around it. It's almost like watching the boxing. You don't have to like a fight. Don't watch it. You ain't got
I
to be
mean,
around it.
no, you really don't. It's called YouTube for a reason. You have your own channel. You can create your own content, but at the same token, there's thousands, if not millions, of other channels that you can go to if somebody is not talking about what you want to hear or you don't like their opinion on a situation. You don't have to sit there. There's nobody holding you, strapping you down to a seat and say you're gonna sit here and watch this channel. No, ain't nobody telling you to do that.
Nah.
You can just say, okay, I don't like it. Bye. I'm going to the next channel. I mean,
Yeah.
I do it all the time. I sit there and I listen. I'm like, oh, I ain't trying to hear this, and I change to go to another channel. No, I ain't trying to hear that. Change to go to
we,
another channel. Bet this something I can watch. But I mean, I look at YouTube the same way I look at TV. That's what it is for me because I'm on YouTube damn near 80% of the day, or if not
yeah.
90% of the day, I'm on
Yeah.
YouTube. And
Yeah.
I look at it the same way I look at TV. If it's a TV show that I don't like, I'm gonna change the channel and go to a TV show that I do like, or go to something else that I want to see. I'm not gonna sit here and my channel is stuck on General Hospital, and I don't watch soap operas. I'm not gonna just sit there, man. I gotta sit here and watch General Hospital. No, I'm gonna change the damn channel. It's
Yeah.
simple as that. You can change the channel whenever you want to.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's crazy, and a lot of people don't understand that. And so many people have got comfortable with doing it. When you look at a lot of these people, man, they wasn't even around when we were around, right? Some of them, and then the ones who are been around and they was around before me and you got a channel, that's the ones I get a little pissed with because you know better. You fucking know better. So what example are we setting for new cats that's walking in that want channels? What example are we setting? We're not setting it. And this is why the cycle is never going to end because everybody thinks that this is actually how it's supposed to go. And my thing is, if we all were agreeing to disagree, and I said, man, shit, that's cool. We can agree to disagree. My problem is when it steps outside of boxing.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been on YouTube since 2000 and I think 2018, maybe 17. I
Yeah.
forgot exactly what year, but it was somewhere around there, 17 or 18. I've been on YouTube, and I've seen a lot of friendships made, and I've seen a lot of friendships break up over
Oh yeah.
a
Oh
boxing
yeah.
conversation,
Yeah.
over
Oh
a
yeah.
simple boxing conversation. And I'm like, y'all literally was up this joint. Y'all done hung out together. I didn't saw pictures where y'all met up and y'all had a good time and all this. And now because you like this fighter and he like this fighter, and they are in position to fight each other, y'all going back and forth to where y'all not even friends anymore. What
Yeah.
kind of sense does that make? And y'all don't know neither one of these fighters. Or if you
Neither
do
one.
know that fighter, you don't know that fighter as well as you know this person, or you don't know that fighter as long as you've been knowing this person. And I'm
I,
like, yeah, y'all
you know what?
crazy. Y'all throw away friendship over nothing.
People take advantage of who they know, and they use that to their advantage for their channel because they just glad that they know them. So they feel like because I know them and I talk to them and I have their number and I've been around them, I got a right to crash out when it comes to them.
No, I really believe a lot of these people that be crashing out for certain fighters and willing to throw away friendships over certain fighters. I really believe that it's a lot more to it. I mean, some of the situations it's not, but I think a lot of the big channels, I think a lot of these big channels might be their hands might the fighter hands might be in their pocket. I really believe that. I really believe these fighter hands
Um,
might be in their pocket.
you know what? I don't tell people how to get their money, but if that's possible, shame on you. Because if my behavior and the way I respond to people is because of that, that's crazy. Because me and you had this conversation before, and I had it with a lot of people. And damn, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I don't give a fuck how it comes out. You can't buy me. You can't buy me. You can't get me to say I'll pay you this amount, this month, and I just need you to say this. I need you to make this shit look real good when you say it. This is what I need. You can't get me to do that. I don't give. Listen, as bad as I need money, I'm not selling myself free. I'm just not doing that. You ain't doing that with me, player, because it's gonna put you in a strange predicament where you got to keep arguing with people. You're going to keep going back for people. You're going to keep defending the coach. I'm not doing all that, bro. So how do I
Yeah.
separate myself from all that? I separate myself from that by not getting involved with it, and you can't buy me. And the thing is, if that's true, like you're saying, Free, which I believe, that person got you out here shucking and jiving. You think you making yourself look good by defending the fighter or the coach, but the person who's paying you to do it got you shucking and jiving, man. And that shit is crazy because you out here risking it all. You out here crashing out. And how can people come to your fucking channel and see great content if that's what you're doing?
Yeah, I think,
Oh,
and
what's going on?
that's the ultimate sellout because you're not your channel was based off of whatever you initially based your channel off, but
Yes, sir.
now you switching your tone because somebody's paying you. So
Yeah.
now people can't go to you for the same stuff they was going to you before because you're not speaking the same way you was before.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You're speaking in a way where it's favorable to certain individuals, but you're speaking against other individuals when in the beginning it wasn't like that. Everybody was pretty much equal, or it was the other way around. But now
Yeah.
all of a sudden because somebody hands is in your pocket. Now you're speaking a little bit different, and I I I would hate to think that that's the case, but I
Yeah.
truly believe that because I'm just looking how people have switched up, and it's not everybody.
No, it's not
It's not
everybody.
it's not everybody. It's
Yeah.
just certain individuals that I used to watch, and I see how things have switched up, and I like, dang, I can't go back over there no more because they done switched up, and it's not even the same. They don't even talk the same. Their titles are not even the same anymore. Everything is just for clicks and views, and I'm like, I'm not going over there. And I see this stuff pop up because I'm subscribed to a lot of people. Even though I might not go to the channel, I'm not going to take my subscription away just because I don't agree with what you're speaking with.
Yeah.
Unless you say something out of pocket to me, I'm not going to take my subscription away. I'm just not going to go there. I'm still subscribed to you. I'm just not going to go there. But I look at the notifications that I get, and I'm like, nah, I'm not going over there because I know it's a bunch of bull. 9 times out of 10, you're probably not even talking about what's actually in the title.
No, just like the idiot I just got out of here. You talking about Boots ain't never fuck with Crawford like that. So we ain't talking about neither one of those, dummy. That's why I got your dumb ass up out of here. Have a nice day.
Stay on topic. Stay on topic.
Stay on topic, stupid. But this is exactly what I'm talking about. And then you're
Yeah.
not. This is why, as content creators, we have a responsibility. So
What?
when we have trolls doing that, that's something different. See, this is
Why
exactly why.
we said it? You got a thumbnail of Vergil Ortiz and ain't nobody said nothing about Jamal.
No. So he goes like, yeah, even though I mentioned Jerron, but I was mentioning him because him and Virgil Ortiz, you can't mention one without the other. But don't come in here talking about no Jerron ain't never messed with Boots like that. Get up out of here. This ain't I'm letting y'all know this ain't one of the channels when y'all think y'all gonna walk in and say what you want to say.
I
It ain't
mean,
gonna happen, player. Over here, I don't play that.
I mean, like I said, that's not the topic that we're speaking on. But either way, like I said, everybody's gonna have their own opinion. I have no problem with nobody having their own opinion. I prefer you to have your own opinion than to share opinion off of somebody else. I prefer you to have your own opinion. But at the end of the day, as long as your opinion is based off of the facts, I can't say nothing about your opinion. I can't say nothing about it because your opinion is based off of the facts, and you interpret the facts the way you interpret it. You could, I mean, certain people interpret facts a different way. Like we see that this person popped dirty, and you're like, oh well, the only reason why he popped dirty is because of this situation, that situation. Okay, well we both know that he popped dirty. Your opinion is that you believe it was a certain circumstance the reason why he popped dirty. I believe he popped dirty because it was his negligence of his own. So we
Yeah,
both believe
yeah,
that he popped dirty, and we're not denying that he popped dirty. We just
yeah,
have different reasons why we believe he popped dirty.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, which is nothing wrong with that. Everybody's supposed to voice their opinion on what they think happened or whatever. Study assuming. We got more people assuming than voicing their opinions, and that's what pisses me off. And this is why these boxing topics are so watered down, and people are not interested. And this is a perfect example, Mr. Joe Garcia. Somebody walking in not knowing what the hell they talking about. That's a perfect example. You see what happens, y'all, when I don't know what other channels y'all go to, but when you come over here, you see what happens when you don't stick to the topic. What happens? You see how easy it is for you to get tossed up out of here? Because when you look at the thumbnail, it says exactly what I'm talking about. And then you idiots walk in here. I could tell y'all didn't learn nothing in school. Boy, boy.
Hey, I already know that, Angel. I already know that.
Yeah,
Hey,
and man, I'm telling you, these dudes is unbelievable in these YouTube streets.
yeah.
Un- but besides all that, uh, give me your opinion or your thoughts of what's gonna happen. You think is gonna happen November 8th between Lubin and Vergil?
Um, I think at some point. Virgil's going to hurt Lubin, and I think he's going to eventually stop Lubin. The problem I have with Lubin, Lubin is a heck of a fighter. He has good boxing skills. The problem that I have with Lubin is he's not disciplined. Whether it's him in his camp or it's him in the ring, he's not disciplined enough. He 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 has the ability to be able to outbox a lot of his opponents, but he falls into the trap of fighting their style of fighting. And with
Yeah,
a guy like Vergil Ortiz, you can't fight his style of fighting. You're not the bigger puncher out of the two. You're a decent puncher in your own right, but you're not the bigger puncher out of the two. And Virgil Ortiz, that's what he wants to do. You don't never give a person the advantage by doing what he wants to do. You always make them have to fight your style of fighting. That's the object of the game, is to
yeah,
make the other opponent fight your style of fighting. That's why I always say it's not styles make fight, it's who can impose their style. If I can make you fight my style of fighting, and regardless of what your style is, if I can make you fight my style of fighting, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna win that fight. If you make me fight your style of fighting, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna win that fight. It
yeah.
has nothing to do with, oh, he's a slick boxer. Well, what happened to the slick boxer in Sugar Ray Leonard when he fought Roberto Duran
Oh
the
no,
first time?
oh no,
He
free.
lost
Don't.
that fight because he fought the style that Roberto wanted to fight. But you saw what happened the second time. Sugar Ray
Don't you,
Leonard fought
don't you,
his style of fighting.
don't you go there, free. There's gonna be a lot of people that can't keep up with you
He
now. You're
fought
gonna have to
the
slow down.
second time Sugar Ray fought his style of fighting, and Roberto couldn't do nothing with Sugar Ray. So that's why I say it's not styles make fight; it's who can impose their styles. People always say, "Oh, it's styles make fight." No, that's an old cliche that somebody said a long time ago, and everybody ran with it. No, because like my man Knockout said, and I said it as well. If it was the style that makes fights, then there will be a certain style that will be able to beat this style on a consistent basis, or that style will be able to beat this style on a consistent basis. That's not the case. It's because who can impose their style is the reason why that fighter won that fight, because he was able to control the pace of the fight. He was able to do what he needed to do in order to win the fight. He didn't allow his opponent to have his way in that ring. So
Yeah,
that's why I said it. I think Lubin, if he can stay disciplined and outbox Vergil Ortiz, he has a great chance of winning that fight because he's quicker than Vergil. I believe he's quicker. He has better footwork, and he fight at mid range and a long distance better than Virgil. Virgil is more of a come forward fighter. He can fight at mid range. He don't fight very well at a distance, but he can fight at mid range. But that's not his strong point. His strong point is getting in close, beating your body down, and landing big shots. That's his
yeah,
strong point. But if Erson Lubin can fight his style of fight and stay disciplined for all 12 rounds, I believe it's a 12-round fight. For all 12 rounds, he can win that fight. But I don't think he will. I think he will fall into the trap of fighting Virgil Ortiz style of fighting at some point. Lubin's going to come out and look good for about the first 4 rounds, and then he's going to fall into the trap.
yeah. Um, yeah, and you know, I was just telling people earlier um that the one thing I love about Lubin is that he comes to fight, but it is a point where he starts fighting your fight, and that could be bad for him, especially against somebody like Virgil. Um, because I try to give Virgil his credit. A lot of people can say what they want about him or how they feel about him and question him, but no doubt about it, the man comes to fight every time we see him. I think this fight will probably be better than what people assume, but because people, it's funny for you got some people who don't even want to see this fight because now it goes Well, it ain't Boots. Why is it not Boots? Why is Boots fighting who he's fighting? And why Vergil's fighting who he's fighting? As if Erickson Lubin is a nobody.
I mean, listen. I understand y'all believe Boots is an elite fighter, and y'all want to see Boots um, test himself. But at the same token, these fighters have to be smart about what they're doing. This man has never fought at 54 before. It's a smart thing to go get a tune up to see how your body feels at that weight. See where you need to improve at a bigger weight class. You don't want to get in there and you're an undefeated fighter. You're one of the stars that's coming up in the sport, and you're starting to make a huge name for yourself in the sport. You don't want to go to another weight class and fight a guy who's been fighting at that weight class and he has the advantage because he's used to the weight class and you're coming from a smaller weight to fight that guy. I have no problem with people that does it. I commend them on doing it. But because this man wants to see how his body is at that weight class, that's not a knock on him. That's credit to him. He's doing it the smart way. He said, "Hold up, I got to make sure that I'm cool at that weight class because these guys are some big punchers up here. I'm not going to just jump in the ring with somebody and I'm not ready for that weight class. So I'm not mad at the fact that he's getting a tune up. Yeah, I would prefer him had a better name as a tune up, but I'm not mad that he's getting a tune up because that's a smart thing to do. He's getting a tune up and he signs to fight Vergil at the beginning of 2026. So he's telling you, yeah, I'm gonna get a tune up. I want to see how my body is. Once I see how my body is, I correct some of the flaws I have fighting at this weight class. And then the next fight that I'm fighting is the fight that everybody said they want to see me in, which is Vergil Ortiz.
And that's the problem right there, Free. And I'm glad that you brought, yeah, Howard Miller, no doubt. You gotta move right with Boots. But you can't tell a lot of these idiots that when you go to these channels, because everybody just wants to assume they know everything. And because they don't get the fight they think they should get, is when they start to go out their way to insult a fighter. Or if a fighter doesn't perform the way they think they should perform, they upset with them. The way D Free just explained it. If people can understand that, I swear these boxing conversations on YouTube would be so much better if people could understand that.
Yeah.
But
And,
y'all don't want to understand that because you think you know everything and you don't know shit.
to go to what Angel just said, he said he heard that Jerome Boucher is called Canelo. Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. It's not bad that Jerome Boucher is called Canelo because we believe Canelo is one of the elite fighters. We believe Canelo is a first ballot Hall of Fame. We believe Canelo is a living legend in the sport of boxing. He's the only undisputed Mexican fighter in the history of boxing. So that's not a bad thing. Canelo been in there with a lot of different styles of fighting. The one thing that I can say is Canelo is the bigger fighter. Canelo is the more experienced fighter. So Canelo knows all of the tricks of the trade. And like I said, once again, he is a bigger fighter. You're moving up to a bigger weight class. You're getting Canelo to spar with you, or you're sparring with Canelo, however you want to look at it. That's a good thing for Jerron Bucenis, and it's a good thing for Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is getting somebody that can imitate what Bud likes to do, because we always compare Jerron Bucenis to Bud. We say he's probably the closest person to a Bud Crawford, so that's helping out Canelo as well. He can give him different looks that Bud might do in the fight that nobody else can do. But at the same token, like I said, Canelo's helping out Jerome Boots Ennis for being able to fight at a bigger weight class. So I have no problem. I commend both of them because Jerome Boots Ennis If Canelo was the one that called Jerron Business, Jerron could have said, "Nah, I'm not sparring you. You can possibly an opponent for me early. I mean, later down the line."
Yeah, yeah.
So he could have said no. But from what I heard that Canelo paid him $12,000 to spar him. So he got a nice little
Shit.
chunk of change to spar with him.
Shit, I'm taking that 12,000, and I ain't have to take a real fight to get that 12,000. Shit, 12,000 to spar. Hey, free. I need some work. I need some work. Shout out to Howard Miller, man. Appreciate you, man. Hope you subscribe to the channel, brother. Yeah. So he says, okay. Yeah. Well, Uh, damn if you do, damn if you don't, man. No matter what Bud do, I tell you this, they're gonna always be on his.
Yeah.
They're gonna always be on his coattail, man. It is what it is. But my thing is free. I have no beef. Not even with who Jerron is fighting. I have no beef with it
No,
because
I
people,
don't have, like I said, I don't have no beef,
people,
but
people,
I wish it
people.
would have somebody better, but I'm not mad at it.
You know what? I don't even know if I could wanted somebody better. I don't know, but I'm realizing that we have to understand why the business of boxing is set up the way it is. Some of us get it, and some of us don't get it.
Oh,
But
I know why.
no,
I
I'm
know
not
why they
saying I'm
got
not
it.
saying that. I'm just saying some of us get it, some of us don't get it. I got to a point where if I don't understand something, maybe it wasn't meant for me to understand. That's how I look at it with myself sometimes. You know what I mean? Because like I said earlier on here, if you don't have control of something, it's not because you're supposed to have control of it. A lot of us,
You you
a
don't have
lot of
control
us.
of it is because one or two things. Either it wasn't meant for you to control, or because you're not the boss man. One or two. One or two.
You ain't the boss man. I have a beef with it, but what can I do? I hopefully he wins. You know, like I said, Thomas.
No, I'm gonna say,
The thing is this, Thomas, and this is what I'm looking at. It doesn't even matter if Jerron wins. If he doesn't look the way that people think he should look, they're gonna. We already know what's going to happen.
I'm gonna tell you why I don't have a beef with it. I more so have a beef with Speedy Rashid Ellis for not taking the 500,000 and fighting Jerron Boots.
Oh, damn it!
I
I
more
forgot
so
about
have a yeah, I more so have a beef with him because if Speedy Rashid Ellis would have took that fight for 500,000, it would have never made it to Lima. It would have never made it to him.
I forgot
They
about
they
those.
they got the Lima fight because Speedy shot it down and said, "No, I'm not fighting you for 500,000." And so Lima decided to take the fight for half of that. So they were like, "Oh shit! Well, this guy is ranked and he's willing to take half. Bet we'll fight him." So Speedy decided to come back around and say, "Oh no, I take it now." They said it's too late. Yeah, because we got somebody that's ranked in the daggone in one of the sanctioning bodies or in multiple sanctioning bodies and he's getting half of what you was gonna get. So no, it's too late now. So I'm more so mad at Speedy because it would have never made it to Lima.
Yeah, I forgot about old Speedy. I really, for a split second, I forgot about old Speedy not taking it. So yeah, whoever. Listen, this is how it works, gentlemen. For the people who don't know, when some guy turns down something and they offer another guy, rather if you're comfortable with that name or not, that's who we got. That's who we got. Now you may not be familiar with the fighter. You might not think it's a big fight because you're not for whatever you think. That's how it works. Somebody else gets the other offer. Somebody else gets that offer. I mean, that's how it works in boxing, man. That's how it works. Oh, he said no. We sent him two offers. He said no or whatever. We sent him one offer. Hell, we looked in the book and found another guy who's willing to take it. What can we do? But this is what we have to understand so we can stop going on here crashing out with each other. Because that's what happens. Crashing out with each other is not going to change the results of this guy is fighting who he's fighting, rather if you like it or not. Going on YouTube and crashing out about it is not going to change that. Hey, that's who Boots is fighting, or this is who Rashidi's fighting, or whoever. This is what I be trying to get y'all to understand. Crashing out about it on your live for 4, 5, 6 hours is not going to change the results. Once a fight is made, signed, sealed, and delivered, that's what it is. And if you still want to talk down about the fight, fine. But it ain't going to change the fact that, hey, October 11th is going down. And guess what? I'm sure there's a lot of people who don't know who the fuck Boots' opponents is, but I guarantee you that arena is going to be filled up with Boots fans. I guarantee you that. He can put asses in seats. I guarantee you they're going to pack that arena October 11th. It might not be sold out, but they're going to pack it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, and at the end of the day, I mean, you ain't gotta watch it, but I think it's gonna be an interesting fight. And like I said, I'm more so intrigued to see how Boots look at
I am.
54.
I am
I want to
free.
see. I want to see how he looks at 54 because if he still looks like he has the speed and he gains more power, oh, it's gonna be problems for guys at 54 with
It,
Jerome Boots.
but for the real fans, for the real people who are into it, that's what we're looking for. While you got these casuals, these trolls, these nobodies, that's well, he don't. I don't know. I wasn't too happy with the way he performed. I think he could look better.
I
Here we
mean,
go. Here we go.
I mean,
Here we go.
I mean, you're gonna always have somebody that's gonna have something negative to say or criticize somebody. Nobody is gonna go through
No,
life and not be criticized by somebody. Somebody's always gonna have something to say. They can do everything exactly how they said they was gonna do it, and they're still gonna have something to say. Tank Davis
yeah,
can go out here right now and fight everybody that we want him to fight. And they're gonna be like, oh, well, why didn't he fight him when this happened? Or why didn't he fight him when that? Did he fight him?
yeah,
Did the man fight him? So it's always gonna be that criticism because people want it the way they want it. They don't
yeah,
they don't care how you do it. They want it the way they want it. So
yeah.
I mean, like I said, I have no real beef with the fight. Like I said, I wish it could have been a better name. Like I said, I wish Speedy Rashid Ellis would have took the fight. Um, and nobody could have really said anything about that because that was a fight that people wanted to see Jerron Boots in his fight. So I wish Speedy would have took the fight, but at the end of the day, I have no problem with him taking a tune up because it's a smart thing to do when you're moving up to a weight class and you know everybody's up there are bigger punchers. You know everybody. Now it's not like you're moving up you moving up from 130 to 135 and you got a few guys that's big punches, but everybody is mostly boxers. That's different. Now, when you moving up from 135 to 147, you better take a light tune up. If you ain't never fought at that weight class, you better
Hey,
take a tune up because you're
Mikey,
gonna get in
Mikey
the
got
ring with
Mikey.
somebody that's a much bigger puncher than those guys at 135.
And listen, when Mikey Garcia decided to go up to fight Earl Spence, I said straight suicide. That's a suicide mission, and we all seen how that went for poor Mikey. Jesus, and he was to me, in my opinion, he was never the same after that. He was just never the same after that.
Whoa.
When Mikey Garcia moved up to fight Earl Spence,
Yeah, that's a perfect example. Mikey Garcia wanted that fight. He moved up to fight Earl Spence, and he was never the same. He was
never the
never the
same.
same. He had one fight after that and retired because he wasn't the same no more. And Mikey Garcia was a monster at 140. He was a monster. He was a monster
Yeah,
at 135.
hell yeah.
But he moved up and fought the biggest, the best guy at 147 at that time, or one of the best guys at
One of
147,
them.
and he got demolished.
Hey,
Like his his
did
his
you ever
dag
think?
on his dag on I think that was his brother or was that his father that was training him?
His brother?
His brother. His brother like, look, I need to see something. I'm about to stop this. He's like, you better not stop this fight. He's like, man, I need to see
But you,
something.
but
He's
you,
beating the dag on tacos up out of you.
but can you imagine if that would have been Crawford in there with Mikey, the shit probably would have been worse. Jesus Christ.
I mean, I like I said, I don't know. I can't say
That's a
what
lot
Crawford
of
would have did, but like I said, when you get it in there with one of the top guys at a bigger weight class and you get beat up, that's your fault. You should have took a tune up. You should have took a
um
tune up.
I think a lot of guys, when they do that, when they jump that weight, you got some who's chasing legacy and they want to be great, but then a lot of them, um, it's for that bag. Because when you look at it, right, when Mikey did that, I'm not dumb. I knew the difference between 35 and 47, and I'm like, Mikey, you got to be kidding. And you heard Bob Arum say it. Yeah, I didn't think he was dumb enough to take that fight.
I mean, I don't really count him going from 135 because he fought at 140. He went down to 35 and had one fight and then went to 47. So yeah, he did fight at 35 before he went to 47, but he was fighting at 40 prior to that one fight that he had at 35
Yeah,
before he
yeah,
went to 47.
yeah,
So I don't really count that, but I understand what people saying.
yeah.
But it didn't matter if he was fighting at 40 the entire time. He got in there with one of the best guys at 147 at that time.
Got
And
beat up bad, man. Got beat up bad. Man. I started to feel bad for Mikey. I said, "Damn, Mikey, your brother might have to, your brother just might have to wave that towel because it ain't looking good for you, player." You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and
It ain't looking good for
it
you.
just it was all the type of fight that Mikey fights. It was all wrong for Earl Spence. It was
Yeah,
all wrong because Earl Spence he's a bigger puncher. And if you're gonna be stationary for Earl Spence, he's just gonna unload on you. He's gonna unload on you. And that's what happened with Mikey Garcia. And that was the first time that we actually saw Earl actually box. We used to seeing Earl come forward and just beat his opponent down and eventually stop him. But that was the first time that we actually seen Earl box. And he boxed circle around Mikey.
yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I was sitting there watching that, like, God damn it, Robert. You might want to go ahead and toss the towel in, bro. It was. He did what he's supposed to do, but listen, I
I
think.
knew it was going to be a problem for Mikey when I saw what Earl did to Lamont Peterson. I thought, oh yeah, it's going to be a problem for Mikey.
Yeah,
It's going
because
to be a problem.
I wasn't used to seeing that with Lamont. That kind of like bothered me, and I was like, "Damn,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
damn, not Lamont." And Lamont wasn't nothing to play with. So to
yeah.
see that,
Lamont gave Amir Khan his first loss.
to me, in my opinion, he gave Danny Garcia a hell of a fight. People don't have to agree. He gave Danny a hell of a fight,
Yeah,
a hell of a fight. Nobody
yeah,
wanted to
but
give him credit on it, but he gave Danny a hell of a fight. At first, I thought Danny was lost it in some way. When I looked at it, then I had to, go back and look at it. But that happens.
and see,
Um,
I said the same thing. I said this about the other day. I think I was on Thomas' show, or I might have been on Dub Right Side. I can't remember whose show I was on. Um, But I said everybody talking about this person ducked that person ducked that person, and because of the money or whatever, it's just a money grab. But I don't hear them saying the same thing about Erickson Lubin because Erickson Lubin was supposed to fight Botram for the title. He decided to
oh
go fight
yeah,
Vergil. He decided to go fight Vergil Ortiz for more money. He
yeah.
was supposed to fight Botram for the title. That's the reason why Botram don't have an opponent right now.
Yo, we got to get back. We got to get him a dance partner. We got to get him a dance partner. I don't know who we can get him to dance with, but we gonna find him a good old dance partner.
But
Um,
when it came to Earth Salute, they were like, "Oh no, see, nah, but it's not a duck, or this and that." I said, "Okay, if it's not a duck, if it's not a duck because he's going to get a bigger money fight, then y'all can't sit here and keep telling me that the belts matter. Y'all can't keep telling me that. I told y'all the belts don't matter to me. It don't matter.
Yeah.
The fight is what matters to me. I don't care if it's a belt on the line or it's not a belt on the line. You can't keep telling me that the belts matter and then a situation like Erickson Lubin, who had a title fight and he decided to go fight Vergil Ortiz for more money.
Yeah.
Well, what happened to the belts mattering?
Yeah.
So that's why I said those arguments go out the window for me because
Oh
it
yeah,
doesn't make
them
sense.
arguments go out the window. I mean, and the sad thing about it is, usually when you bring receipts to the table, um, oh man, you're right, you're absolutely right. You can't even bring receipts to the table no more because it don't make any sense. Because they still find a way to try to get around that. They still find a way to get around that. You like, I just told you everything. So free. Explain what? I just told you. Y'all still so you trying to go around what I'm telling you, and I'm telling you what it is, and that's why I be like, y'all dudes are
But
annoying, man.
that's why I said when they sit here and try to have that argument, oh, the belts matter, and then I give you all these situations where there was a belt, opportunity for a person to get a belt, and they chose to do something different. What happens to the belts matter in those situations?
Yeah,
Oh well, it was more money for this fight. So you telling me that the belt don't matter? The money matters. It's not the belt that matters. It's the money that matters.
yeah,
Basically, what I've been saying the whole time.
yeah.
I don't care if it's a belt on the line or not, as long as it's a good fight. Because, like I said many times, Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson can fight tomorrow with no belt on the line. That's going to be the biggest fight outside of maybe.
Yeah, but then of course you'll
Maybe
have some. But
it, it, it
of
actually
course.
might be a bigger fight than Canelo and Bud. It might be a bigger fight than Canelo and Bud.
I mean, if you just so happen to play it in the new one of them new boxing games, yeah, because he's us waiting for that. But I get what you're saying. But yeah, it probably
No,
would. It'd be
I ain't talking about that. We're waiting for it. I'm just saying, if that fight was to happen and there was no belt on the line, you can't tell me that that's not a big fight. That's a big fight. The belt don't matter if
well,
they got a
you know
belt on.
what, free. It is a big fight, but for somebody that don't know nothing, will say free. If it's such a big fight, this is the question they ask free. If it's such a big fight, why is there no belt on the line? That dumb question will come. And it's just like, what are you talking about?
Well, I mean, the biggest fight that happened 2 years ago, there was no belt on the line.
Jesus Christ. Jesus
So
Christ.
it did 1.2 million pay-per-view buys. There was no belt on the line.
Yeah. For
That was the
Eugene.
biggest fight of that year. They did somewhere, I think somewhere on 100 and something million dollars
Well, if that's the
generated.
case, if that's the case, free, then why are they paying them what they paying them, man? Y'all be asking some stupid, delusional ass questions.
As I said, you can't argue me about the belts mattering because, like I said, the belts only matters to the fighters that wants the belt. If the fighter don't want the belt, then the belt don't matter. It only matters
Yeah,
to the fighter that wants the belt.
yeah,
Those are the only reasons why the belts matter.
yeah. It's people don't, but people
Yeah,
don't.
David Morrell and David Benavidez. That was a excellent fight, and there was no
Yeah.
belt on the line.
Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna go back and watch that because my man Morel did a little better than I thought he would do. Got to go back and watch that. But perfect
That
example.
was
But
a
you
that
can't.
was a hell of a fight. There was no
That was
belt on the
hey,
line.
hey. But you can't explain that to these idiots because they think they know everything and
No,
don't. You don't. You just don't, and you're not bothering to try to learn this. You don't, man. Like I'm blessed that I could be able to go to channels when I come over to you, when I go to BBO, when I go to certain people, and then I get to sit and I listen, and I get to, you know, take everything that y'all saying, and then sometime I might try to take it and make some sense out of it if I'm not understanding. But I don't go to people channels to try to challenge what it is that they're saying because everybody have a right to explain things the way they're explaining it. Because the thing is, when we explain things, we're not just talking. We're trying to get people to understand what we're saying. and why we're saying it versus us just running our mouths, which you see a lot of people just doing, just running their mouths.
Yeah.
Now we don't try to explain things. We just quick to run to a debate, and it's like, whoa, 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 hold on. Can we just talk about it?
That's why I keep telling people I'm a boxing fan. I'm not a boxer fan. I'm a boxing fan,
It's when
and it doesn't matter
you
if
know
there's
what,
a belt on the line or not.
Howard, if there's not a belt on the line for these, not speaking for me and Free, but for some of these people that call themselves fans, if it's not a belt on the line, it's not a real fight.
No,
According to them.
that's not true.
No, I'm just saying how they think.
No, because
Salute.
1.2 million people watched Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia. There was no bet on the line.
That's a fact. And that shit ended early. That's
There
a
was no
fact.
bet on the line.
Yeah.
But 1.2 million people bought that fight.
There was a couple of fights in history where there wasn't no belts on the line, and they turned out to be great. But these people who don't understand boxing think that if it ain't a belt on the line, if a knockout doesn't happen, if a stoppage doesn't happen, it's not a real fight.
Hey, Ryan versus Devin, there was no bet on the line, but a lot of people watched that fight.
That's a fact. But this is
There
what
was
I'm
no
saying.
bet on the line for that fight.
Y'all don't know what y'all be watching because y'all have this theory of this is how I picture the sport of boxing. And if it doesn't look like this when I watch it, then it's not real. If a belt is not on the line, it's not real. If this guy doesn't go out and perform the way that he's supposed to perform, it's bullshit. If he doesn't get a knockout, if he doesn't get a stoppage, none of this is real. This is the energy that y'all keep, and then y'all got the audacity to call yourself fans. Man, knock it off.
Yeah, see, a lot
Knock
of
it
these
off.
people they just want to have an argument. They don't really have an argument. They want to have an argument, and that's because they don't really know about the sport of boxing. They want to act like they know. They don't really know. A lot of these people, when they watch a fight, they really don't know what they're watching. They're footwork. They're not looking at how a person set up his combination, how a person set up the knockout punch. They're not looking at that. They just
No.
looking at a person throwing punches. That's all they looking at. Oh, look, he
Oh
caught him with that shot. He caught
yeah.
him with that shot.
Roy Jones versus finisher. Yeah,
Yeah, there was no bet on the
yeah.
line for that fight.
I
There was
forgot
no bet on
about
the line.
that. I damn sure forgot about Roy versus Phoenix. And that happened, damn, Free, that happened on your birthday, didn't it? 2008?
Yeah,
Like on your
yeah.
birthday?
Well, that was Roy Jones' birthday.
Yep. I had just turned 25 a couple of days before that. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Well,
Like like I said,
Thank
most
you,
people.
Howard. Thank you, Howard Miller, for that, because that fight
I,
slipped my mind.
like that's why I like when we have these fight parties and we're calling the fight
Yes.
because I get to see exactly when they watch the fight because when we after the round is over we ask who how you score that fight, who you had winning that fight, and we get different perspectives on the fight so I know what you're looking at. And most people, I ain't talking about the guys that I have up on the panel, but most people that be in the chat, they really don't know what they're looking at because
Nah.
they just looking at shots being thrown, but they're not looking at the shots being landed. They're not looking at who's controlling the pace of the fight, who has the ring generalship, who has the better defense in the situation. They're not looking at that. They're just looking at the shots being thrown. And so
Yeah.
I understand a lot of these people don't know what they're looking at. They just
Yeah, but
rooting for a certain guy.
if you don't know what you're looking at, then admit that you don't know what you're looking at. Don't assume and then make yourself sound like an ass or look like one. I don't know everything about boxing, but I
Video all the
do
time
understand
because a
competitive.
person
Yeah,
will get knocked
yeah.
down.
No, yeah. No. Hey, real, it's all good. No. It's all good. because at least you're admitting that, and that's what we do, and that's what we need these other people to do. It's not about knowing everything about boxing, because it's the thing of we all supposed to learn, right? Not just from what we watch on TV, but we all supposed to learn from each other. But we are more interested in debating and arguing, and we can't learn anything from each other if we're screaming over each other, and if we're not keeping the topic boxing, no matter who we are talking about, what era or whatever. If we don't learn to continue to keep it boxing, these conversations are going to continue to be out of control. So, even if we don't know everything, you're not going to know everything. And we still have room to learn stuff. You're going to learn something new about this sport every day that you felt like you should have been new. And it's okay, because that helps us understand the sport more. But when you're assuming and acting like you know and you don't know shit, and you quick to jump into a debate with somebody that you can't debate with, that you're not going to win that, then you're making an ass out of yourself.
Yeah, and I get on my man BBO all the time because he'll see somebody get dropped and he be like, oh man, he lost that fight. You ain't see how he got dropped? I was like, dog, that was one round. There's
Well,
11 more rounds outside of that round. And
BBO,
I know he be just doing that just to make fun or whatever.
no, they didn't.
But there's some people that actually believe like that because a person got dropped that they lost the fight. No, you got to look at the other 11 rounds or the other 10 rounds or however many
Hey,
rounds they fought. You got to look at the other one majority
Ward,
of those rounds.
Ward
That
versus Gotti
guy
wasn't.
won
Hey,
10
free.
out
Hold
of the
on.
12 rounds, and he got 2 points for a knockdown. That's
What?
only 3 rounds that he won. Yeah, that's only
What?
3 rounds
Hold
that
on.
he won.
Howard Miller said,
The
"Did
other 9 rounds went to the other fighter. That's
Ward
only
versus
three.
Gotti? Yeah, Ward versus Gotti. No, I don't think a title was up. I don't think a title was up for that. Yeah, Ward versus Gotti. I don't think there was a title up for that. It was a hell of a fight though. One of my favorite fights. It ended up being one of my favorite trilogies too.
Yeah, I mean, it just like I said, like I said, a lot of people actually believe that they believe because a person got dropped that he lost the fight. No, you got to score the entire fight round
You
by
have to
round,
explore the
not
entire fight.
not just not just based off of what you saw in one round. That
Yeah,
doesn't
no,
win the
no,
fight
we can't do that.
unless
Um,
unless that person got stopped in that round.
yeah,
That's the only way
but
he won.
with that being said, right? If we just so happen to have Virgil be victorious, and we have Boots be victorious, free, and anybody in the chat can answer this. Could that set up Boots versus Ortiz sometime next summer? Rather if it be Philly, Texas, or Las Vegas?
No, it's supposed to be Boots and Ortiz. The beginning of 2026. Boots already signed his portion of the
Okay,
agreement.
okay. Y'all brothers keep going. We need more channels like this. Hey, Howard Miller, let me tell you something about me, man. I'm like, what was that referee that passed away? That the bald headed one, Mills Lane. Um,
Yeah.
I'm no, not Mills Lane. Take that back. Joe Cortez. I'm fair, but I'm firm. We keep it
Yeah,
real over here. We don't do
yeah,
all that other stuff you see channels do. We don't do none of that nonsense. It will never be no debating. It'll never be no argument. We don't disrespect each other over here. We could agree to disagree, but we keep it respectful. So Howard Miller, you're always welcome to come back here, brother.
hey,
Pass the
that's
channels
another
around.
that's
Hmm?
another fight. War versus Gotti. I believe that trilogy. I don't think it was a title on the line for neither one of those
No,
fights.
that's what Howard Miller just asked. Was there a title on the line for that? And I'm like, no, I don't think there were. But it was a hell of a fight.
Yeah, I don't think there was no title on the line for neither
But
one of those
these,
fights.
but be real. Half of these people that's arguing with you about it, y'all wasn't even around for when these fights that we was talking about was happening. If you were, you wasn't watching it. Because if you were, you would know that we don't need a title for a great fight. This is how I know a lot of y'all wasn't watching boxing the time y'all said it y'all were. I've been watching it a long time. No, you probably been watching it just enough to catch on to the fighters that's popular, but you wasn't. But yeah, all right. So you said boots. Okay, so we'll see that in the beginning of the year. That's cool. Don't try to convince me. I've been watching boxing for 20 years, 25 years. You're a 25-year liar. You was picking your nose and digging your ass for 25 years, and then you just decided to watch boxing. You ain't been no boxing. You ain't been watching no boxing no 25 years, because if you have, you wouldn't sit here and say things like, well, if a title ain't on the line, it ain't a real fight. Who that has been watching boxing all their life will go out their way to say that? Kovalev versus Ward. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Those two fighters need to stop faking. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I
So
can tell you right now, those people that was watching daggone Mike Tyson before he got the title, they watched all them daggone fights before he got his title. It was
what
a
is
lot. A
business
rack
about?
of fights that he fought before he became a champion.
I mean, the business of boxing is what the business of
Oh,
boxing is, man.
we got Shoot Farmer on. I'm about to go
Oh
over there.
yeah. Let me get off. I got to get off anyway because I've been here 2 hours. So look, y'all. I'll be back here for the morning chop up tomorrow morning. Y'all more than welcome to join me. Make sure you join me Thursday afternoon. Throwback boxing talk. I don't know who I'm gonna talk about, but Thursday you got to tune in because it's always great throwback boxing talk. But tomorrow the morning chop up. Am I going to have any boxing tomorrow afternoon? 9 times out of 10, no. I have something else I'll be doing tomorrow, but y'all will be able to see what it is. I love y'all, and I appreciate the time y'all came up here to rock with me. God bless. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Not my co-host, but my man D Free. Appreciate him, and all of y'all join the rest of y'all Tuesday, man. Y'all know what it is. It's the No Doug Zone podcast. Let's go.